Hello, everyone. We are back. This is the Canadian Bowler Show. I am Michael Patulli, joined by my fabulous co-host Daryl Fitzgerald. How are you doing, Daryl?
I am good. As you can see, I'm decked out in my Lions gear because my team is finally doing really well. So I might as well represent while I can.
Probably about one of the first times in your lives you've been able to actually rep that jersey with pride. So
It's
I,
been a
I can't really
long
fault you.
time. Last year was good, but a disappointment. So this year's looking really good as well. So I can't complain.
Alrighty. Well, we are here to talk Bulls. We've got quite a bit of stuff to cover. So quickly while we get into it, just going to do a reminder. If you are here, please hit the like, comment, subscribe buttons. We do appreciate any interactions we can get. Anytime you're hitting those buttons, just helps us push this channel forward, push the ideas we have forward. So please do hit those buttons if you can. If you're not able to catch the show live, we're on YouTube same day, and then we're on all major podcasting platforms within a week of the show. So if that's your jam, you can check it out after the fact there as well. Alrighty. And then we also, I guess, can't forget about our sponsor, bullsincanada.com. So the headslide supplier for North America, bullsincanada.com. If you need any sort of bulls, any sort of equipment for bowling, they have very good selection there. They have some new, I guess, models of some rolly bags and some bags that are very nice. So if you do need yourself a new bowls bag, definitely check out their site. They have a pretty cool selection. Daryl needs a new Bulls bag,
I
so I'm kind
do.
of just pointing that at. Maybe that's gonna be my Christmas gift to Daryl. Is
Oh
I'll
my
have to
god.
go get a Bulls bag from bullsincanada.com. But yes, definitely check them out. We immensely appreciate the support they've been given to the channel over about the last 6 months here. So we can jump into it, Daryl. I guess the biggest news since we did a last show would probably be the Commonwealth Games announcement for 2026. So previously on the show, we talked about how it maybe seemed doubtful or potentially doubtful that bowls was going to be included in the 2026 Commonwealth Games because they said they're going to do a pared down Commonwealth Games, but they announced it and they announced the sports, and bowls is going to be included. So that was a pretty big, important announcement for anyone in the bowls world. They know that this is our biggest event probably that we have. And it's a huge event for, I think, the visibility of bowls. So very, very excited that it was included. It's going to be, I guess maybe I'll let you take over. So I'm just not talking forever, Daryl.
Yeah. I'm super pumped that it's back in. I guess we could just say like the word on the street is that singles pairs or singles and fours is going to be the format. So it is going to be a significant change to what we are typically expecting, and it's probably going to be indoors. Most likely going to be indoors. Almost definitely going to be indoors, and on portable rinks that they're constructing. So something we're more familiar with the WBT, I guess. Um, So really interesting news coming out of there. It's exciting that Bulls is back in, but it's definitely going to be a big change. Not only for what we see, it'll be short as well, and probably a week instead of 2 weeks. And um, teams are going to be different. So instead of that 5 man, 5 woman, and then para, there'll be some combination of men, women, and then para as well. So yeah, I'm interested to see what the actual concrete um, format is going to be when it actually does come out.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting that it's going to probably be indoors on portable rinks. Like, that's obviously a very significant shift from the traditional format of being outdoors, and then, as you're saying, a much larger format. So whatever it ends up being, I'm sure the portable rinks and being indoors, it's probably a little more friendly for being able to stream events, or probably have a lot more streaming of it. So maybe that'll be a side effect of it, I'm hoping. But again, it's good that it's being included because I think it's big for the visibility of the sport, and hopefully it's something that can continue, and maybe down the line just keep part of it, because I think it's going to be a big thing to keep having in there, or Bulls is really going to have to do a pretty significant shift to try and kind of pump up the world championships, things like that.
I mean, you can't say I'm totally surprised. I figured that if it was in there, it wasn't going to be the traditional format anyway. The last couple Commonwealths, all I heard coming out of it is how difficult it is to stream and to produce, because it is on such large greens. They have a lot less control. It's outdoors. The games are longer, so trying to fit them into time slots and for TV and all that kind of stuff is difficult. So faster, shorter is probably the way they're going to go. And I mean, for those that were shocked to see what the Canadians did, you saw the New Zealand version of Bulls 5 with the singles that had the same kind of 5 end kind of set stuff, and it seems like this stuff is going to go that way as well, trying to market it. So we're going to see a lot more of that. So for anybody that hates it, you're going to see a lot more of it.
Yep. Oh yeah, I think you're probably barking up the right tree there, that I would not be terribly surprised if it goes in that direction, where it's going to be kind of quicker, hard-hitting games, and maybe the teams will play a little bit more games than the old formats, but it's just one of those things where I think it's going to be probably pretty quick games, as you're sort of saying, and shifting in that direction. It kind of seems to be the norm for a lot of the major competitions. So that's good news. Good stuff to look forward to. So we're going to have that to look forward to. 2026 summer. I guess you have the dates there, July 23rd to August 2nd. So that'll be something to look forward to a little more than, well, not quite 2 years from now, I guess.
Yeah, it's going to be a quick turnaround for anybody that was kind of waiting. You get this announcement, and then you have to really push to figure out what you're going to do, because they still haven't officially announced all the format stuff, right? So unless countries know a little bit more and maybe have an idea that it's going to be one or the other, then you have to get into selection and all that kind of stuff, which could be even worse now that if you have to do less people.
Yeah, that'll be nice and complicated if you're allowed to only send a singles and a pairs team, or, well, I don't even know if a person can double up in events. Then it's like you might even just literally be sending a singles player and then one more player to play pairs, if that's what it ends up being. So
Yeah.
Be very interested to hear what the actual format and rules, everything are when it comes out. We'll definitely be able to cover it on the show here when it does happen.
100%. Yeah.
So I guess moving on, right now, currently, the U.S. Open is going on in Sun City, Arizona. Today was day one, November 3rd to 9th, down in Sun City, which you and I are familiar with after last year, played in the South Central Open. Absolutely great location. Yeah, you're giving yourself props. So we won the pairs. But Sun City is a great location for U.S. Open or major tournaments. They have probably about 6 greens or 7 greens within an immediate driving distance of each other. So it's very convenient to get from place to place. Even if you're staying with people, it's not terribly difficult to drop someone off and then go to your green if you had to play singles. So they're hosting Bell, Lakeview, Oakmont, Sun City West, and then I think there was a Mountain View was also today as well, because the singles for the men's, there's quite a few men singles players. So streaming is on Bulls USA Facebook and YouTube. So if you are interested in watching it, the link is in our description. Definitely go to check it out. I watched, I think, 2 of the matches today. So we got a pretty good stream set up, able to sort of flip back and forth. The greens looked like they were running probably about 13, 14 seconds. So can't really complain. What's your thoughts about it, Daryl?
From what I saw in the streams, I was only I caught I think half of 2 games. I didn't actually get to see the full, but stream looked great. Everything seemed to be running really well. The greens, obviously. I mean, I've never had a complaint going down there. and playing. Tons of entries. So I mean, it's a grind right now. You have to battle your way through to kind of move yourself to the top. So this is some interesting days for some of the events. And um, the one stream I watched actually was only half a game. I did watch the whole thing because it got shut down for wind because the wind was picking up so much. So on faster greens, when you're dealing with that kind of wind, I can just imagine what kind of havoc it's wreaking on the Bulls. So really cool. I'm really excited to see the rest of the games. I encourage anybody that's viewing this, watching this, go to the Bulls USA Facebook and or YouTube and check out those streams. They've put a lot of work into this, and it's one of it is their biggest event down there. So give it some support. Check out the stream and see what it's all about, and maybe plan a trip down there to do it in one of the following years too. So.
Yeah, if you're at all curious, Bulls USA's website has links to sort of the format of the event, because I think the men are playing singles, ladies are playing fours right now, I think is how it's working. So they're kind of flip flopping events over the week. So I'm sure we're gonna have streaming of both the men's and women's events as the week goes on. So definitely do, as Joe said, check out those links and sort of pay attention to the results, because I'm sure we're going to see lots of good games and lots of high end bowlers there from all around the world. So it'll be pretty awesome.
Yeah, they did a cool thing. I mean, for the first time I've seen, they actually spray painted the logo on the green. We don't see that too much in North America. So seeing it done there, hopefully that kind of spreads, because it is a cool little added bonus when you see like logos, ads, or whatever on the green. It doesn't interrupt play, but it actually adds to the atmosphere, I think. And just a few pictures of some of the opening ceremonies. They had each of the countries that were represented kind of going. I only have a few things, but they had Canada, obviously the U.S., Ireland, I think Jersey, and Scotland all represented.
England and Australia too.
England and Australia,
And
so you can
South
see all of
Africa.
them in the back there. South Africa over there on the right as well. So really cool to see people from all over playing. Tons and tons of Canadians playing and volunteering and helping to run this event. It's amazing that this area and Bulls is, it seems almost like a 50-50 US Canada split when you play in one of these events, which is kind of neat. So
Yeah, you can never underestimate how many snowbirds there are from Canada that actually go down there every winter. It's, will be fair though, it's absolutely gorgeous down there essentially that whole winter. So if you're from Western Canada, I think a lot of the Western Canadian people end up down there, and you can't really blame them, because 20 degrees or whatever every day is pretty solid. So, and it's good bowls, obviously. Okay. So yeah, that does it for US Open. There were some other events, or there was a other event that we wanted to cover some results within Canada. So new event this year was the Pacific Coast Open, hosted at the PIBC in Vancouver. That occurred from October 23rd to the 27th. So very similar to Canadian Bowler Open. They ran a open singles and then a mixed pairs event. I guess string of events, or the calendar that they went through. Singles was the first and the third day. Pairs were the second and the fourth day, and then the finals were the last day. They had pretty nice cash payouts. They had quite a large amount of sponsors, which is very nice to see for a new event, to be able to attract pretty major sponsorships like that. I'll maybe let you take the results there, Daryl.
yeah, so they called it the Bruce Matheson Open Singles. Yeah, and as you can see, it went October 25th and 27th, and then the finals was on the 27th. Will Hall took down the championship. Second place was Jerome Kirby. Third place, George Sitt. and fourth Zoe Chan. And tied for fifth, Alan Wass and Rainbow Lung. So this was an open event, so this wasn't men's or women's. And then we flip over to the mixed. Carrie Mans and Rainbow Lung took down the mixed. Second place, Nathaniel Hui, Jillian Poon. Third, Malcolm Taylor, Mary Taylor. And then fourth was Ellen Wass and Vivian Chan. So, really neat event. Obviously, a huge payout. It was streamed, so I was able to catch a few of those. I think you were as well, Mike. What did you think of the whole event?
Well, it's good to see an indoor event happen because we obviously didn't have the Canadian indoors for probably the first time in 20 something years this year. So it was good to see that event or an event be hosted. And then it was a pretty nice, obviously, as we sort of touched on the sponsors, good turnout on both sides. So I enjoyed watching the streams as well. They had some what sort of looked like a webcam or something on the roof that was pretty cool that they were able to sort of zoom in or change the angles on. So it was definitely an interesting format of everything too. I was happy to see that there was kind of a nice turnout from all across Western Canada, and then even into I think they had an American player as well. So props to them. Very happy it turned out, and well, a lot of familiar names or familiar faces for people that have done well on the indoor before. Obviously, showed up and continued to do as such.
Yeah, I agree. Having the indoor event was a big win. Everything kind of fell apart around all the other indoor stuff. So for nationals anyway. So really cool to see. Glad that they streamed it. Everything looked to go according to plan. The only curious thing was the schedule for me, I guess. Some players do complain when you run a ton of games multiple days to a final, that it's too much. So I'm curious to see if people really enjoyed having, you play your first day singles, you have a day off. If you didn't play the mixed pairs, then you play your next day singles and then the finals. Or if you did the other mixed and then not singles and you kind of skip days. Kind of what you thought about that, having a day in between your kind of qualification matches and your finals. But that was the only thing that I found a little strange. But other than that, it looked really great.
Yeah, the thing for me that was kind of a takeaway, or it was cool to see, was naming the event or having the event named after Bruce Matheson, sort of one of the Canadian legends. They had a little bit of they have a video, so you can check out Pacific Indoors YouTube channel, and they have a video sort of talking about Bruce, who he was to the game, everything like that. So it was a very nice tribute to him because he was a very flamboyant, unique guy. I guess still is, and so it was very fitting to have the event named after him, and sort of everything they did around it was very cool to see. Okay, so yeah, moving on, we have, well, this was news that was it was kind of a weird one here because I think me and you had kind of read in, was it the Bulls International magazine, that these players were going to the Bulls Junior Indoor, but we didn't have an official announcement from Bulls Canada for quite a while. So yeah, World Bulls Junior Indoor was announced. It's being held in Hong Kong, December 2nd to 8th, and the two Canadian players selected to go are Emma Boyd. We got a nice picture of Emma there, and Owen Kirby. So two well-deserving U25 players. Emma obviously doing her thing in Australia for the last few years, had some very good results, and Owen is Kirby dominant and winning all the things here in Canada. So not terribly surprised to see his name there. So it was very nice that they're both getting some recognition and chance to go overseas. I believe BCB did a call out for it, or expression of interest. I don't remember whatever they call it. So obviously those two were the ones that were selected from it. So any thoughts, Drew?
Hong Kong Football Club. I really enjoyed playing there when went over in Hong Kong, but that was like over a decade ago now. Pre beard and pre gray, pre kid and pre everything else. Uh, but really cool. I hope they really enjoy it. It is a great place to go and to visit and to see things. So on top of just bowling in a top notch facility, like HK FC, just going and exploring the city and having that cool experience. I think it's really good. They have 42 players from 21 countries entered, which is really cool as well. And they'll be playing singles and mixed pairs. And Emma and Owen are both very, very nice young players. So I'm sure they'll not only play really well in their singles matches, but I'm sure they'll team up really well in the pairs as well. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, I have kind of the same memories of Hong Kong Football Club. I think I'm not quite 10 years ago I was there, but we've both been there, and it was a pretty long time ago for both of us. So it's a good facility, decent surface, and I'm assuming it's either been maintained or even adjusted since we've been there. So there'll be a good experience, as you said. Hong Kong, Kowloon is sort of just a really cool area to even go explore if you have the time outside of bowls. So hopefully the players maybe take a couple extra days to sort of see the sights and everything. Yeah, hopefully they do well. And as you said, the mixed pairs part of it, I think they're going to be a pretty strong team joining together. So good luck to both of them. So other event coming up, we got the World Bowls Champion of Champions being hosted at the Browns Bay Bowling Club in Auckland, New Zealand. That's a little sooner than this one, so November 25th to the 30th. Our two reps going over to that are the Alberta combo of Pat Bird and Claire Day. So all the best to them. I know Pat went last year, got through to the elimination rounds, had a pretty solid showing there. And Claire, I think this will be her first time attending it, but Canadian Bowler Open champion Claire Day, very established singles player. She's been playing very well singles over the last 2-3 years here in Canada. So all the best to her. It'll be great to see both of them get a shot down there.
I'm curious to see what bowls that she plays. Those lignoids are not gonna be very kind in New Zealand, so I'm sure she's got a plan for that. But that's really cool. Both really good players, both super people. So yeah, good luck to them at the Champion of Champions.
Would love to see what a lignoid actually would do on a 20-second green or whatever down in New Zealand, because I know New Zealand, the weed that they play on, it's very fast for bowls. So I'd actually love to see what some of our northern heavy bias bowls would do down there, like a lignoid. I have a suspicion it would probably start coming back up the green when it would finish, but who knows?
If there's any wind at all, it's probably going off the green. Doesn't even matter if you're playing rink edge, it'll blow all the way to the other one. So
yeah. Well, anyways, good luck to them. I know that the Champion of Champions is a little bit of a weird format. Is it like the first to win 2 5-end sets or something like that? Is that what this one is?
Yeah, something like that. I'll have to brush up on that, but we'll definitely bring you more news on that as it gets closer and as it kicks off as well.
So yeah, two events for us to bring results over the winter season here. Obviously, we got WBT and everything coming up as well. I don't know if we have that in the show notes, but the Scottish Open for the WBT, I believe, kicks off not next week, but it might actually be even next week. I don't know off the top of my head. Anyways, that event is coming up right away. We do like to cover WBT. Ryan Pollard from Canada would be our representative there. So good luck to him. Good luck to all the players competing in that event. Always fun to sort of see what WBT has. So very excited for the coverage that event will get. Whenever it is, Daryl's probably looking it up right now.
Looking it up right now. Round 1, Tuesday, November 5th. So pretty close.
Literally, it's like 2 days from now. So there we go. I was pretty on the ball. thought I'd saw something that people were either heading there or on their way. So that makes sense that it's only a couple of days away.
I'm just taking a look to see where we are. Oh, Ryan Pollard, Jason Greenslade. He'll be playing in his first round, so that's pretty cool.
I guess that could have been me had I not choked in the final against him and just bowled trash. So Ryan deserves to be there, though. I'm sure he's gonna have a great experience, and I think it'll be great for him to get his shot there.
And we'll be bringing in more of that. We'll definitely have to pump up some of those games. Hopefully, they stream his game so we can catch that as well. That's always fun to see our Canadian players over there playing against the top in the UK and the world.
Definitely. So, other event coming up right away, BPL 20. It's being hosted at Club Pine Rivers. That is November the 11th to the 15th. So quite a bit of bowls for you all to watch coming up here in the next week and a half, because you get WBT followed directly by this. So BPL, if you've never watched it, is awesome. I love watching it every time, and the highlights that they get from it, pretty much every go around is pretty cool. And then now you're starting to see some of the players from the UK kind of drift into it a little more with the World Bowls point system. I think it's motivating some of the players to actually come over and play in the event. So it's actually really cool. There's a few of the teams have picked up guys, some of the major players from the UK. So it'll be very interesting, different lineups, different teams. So I'm excited to watch it. What's your, I guess I'll let you do the part here. There's a couple new teams in it this year.
Yeah. So I'm always excited to watch it. I think it's a fantastic event. I mean, short, quick games, cool format, cool little quirks in there. I'm always down for some really aggressive, really tight games as well. Two new teams, Sydney Saints and Geelong Jets. So they're expanding, which is really cool. So obviously it's going quite well. And you've got some international talent coming down. So not just kind of the Australian and New Zealand. You got Alex Marshall, who's always kind of been around there. Ryan Burnett's playing. He's a Scottish international that lives down in Australia. Catherine Rednall, for those that know the WBT, she's the most dominant ladies player in the past number of years. So she's going down and playing. Paul Foster, that you may know. Let's see if there's any more. Ryan Bester is taking this one off, so you won't see him playing this year, which is unfortunate because he's always good for a handful of highlights through all the matches. But yeah, definitely check it out. It's a really cool event, and UC is arguably the best of the best players in there playing against each other. So you're not short for talent. You're not short for big plays. So definitely check it out.
Yeah, like the links will be up pretty soon, so you'll be able to check out the event on Bowls Australia's Facebook, YouTube, everything like that. So it will be coming up right away there.
Yeah.
Speaking of Australia, they recently had their national championships, which were held October 21st, 24th. We did have some Canadian content in there, so it was pretty relevant for us to cover these results. So I'll let you to jump in there, Daryl.
So I will preface this with the 24th to the 24th, 21st to the 24th was just kind of the finals and the knockout stages. I think it's like 18 days straight of qualification matches and knockouts and other stuff, because there's like under 18 players, there's para, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that goes on, I think, along with all of this. So it's a really huge event, but just for the Australian Championships and the results, I think are probably the most important for us to talk about here. So we have the women's triples. First place, Brenda Belchin, Brenda Thompson, and Nolene Dutton from Queensland. Second place was Therese Hastings, Haley Packer, and Christina Christic from Western Australia. And third place was Jess McMullen, Deborah Lee, and Rebecca Van Ash from Tasmania. Obviously, they play in their states, so it's really important to their state team play, kind of like we do in Canada with our provincial stuff. Men's triples: Andrew Evans, Jake Grinney, and Kane Nelson from Queensland. Second place went to Thomas Rich, Heath Lewis, and Jack McShane from New South Wales. And then third was Wesley Faulkner, Sean Robertson, and Mac McLean from ACT, Australian Capital Territory. I had to make a show note for that because I always screw ACT up. I always screw the capital. I forget what the C is. Women's pairs and men's pairs. So in women's pairs, we had Natasha Russell and Dawn Heyman from New South Wales taking gold. Patty Burry and Michelle Barrett from Southern Australia taking silver. And then third was Jean Claridge and Rebecca Van Ash from Tasmania. Men's pairs was Ben Winther and Brett Spur from New South Wales. Second was Brad Ball and Russell Bates from Western Australia. And third was Will McFarlane and Craig Mills from Southern Australia. And these are how they played them in order. So the women's fours went after triples and pairs. So women's fours: Helen Heel, Robin O'Brien, Haley Packer, and Christina Christic from Western Australia got gold. Second place was Kira Bork, Kelsey Cottrell, Chloe Stewart, and Lindsay Clark from Queensland. And third went to Margaret Chandler, Kelly Paul, Jennifer Redshaw, and Sharon Kavanagh from South Australia. Men's fours: Tyler Pettigrew, Brad Piper, Cody Garrick, and Kane Nelson from Queensland took gold. Second was Tim Twinning, Jamie Minter, Matthew Boss, and Lee Schreiner from New South Wales. And third was Will McFarlane, Andrew Hill, and Craig Mills from South Australia. And the big one, the most interesting one for us here, was women's singles. Kelly McCarahan, representing Victoria, took down the women's singles at the Australian Championships. Second place went to Christina Christic from Western Australia, and third went to Dawn Heyman from New South Wales. And in men's singles, Jay By Norris from Victoria took down the gold. Cody Packer from Western Australia took down the silver, and Jay Brust from New South Wales took down the bronze. And in mixed pairs, gold went to Ruth Moore and Jamie Smith. And again, Kelly McCarahan popping her head in there. Ali Forsyth and Kelly McCarahan got second in mixed pairs. And then bronze went to Lisa Featherby and Bill Brandsma. Some cool results. Kelly is all over the place now. It seems she's just found her game and is nailing everything. So what are your thoughts, Mike?
Not terribly surprised to see her add another feather to the cap. She's literally, I think, approaching greatest of all time levels for a female Canadian bowler at this point. She's been incredibly high-end, prolific player there for years, and I guess sort of we preface Alex's Power 20 video, which recently was released. If you wanted to give that a watch, he pretty much talks about retiring her like he did Ryan Bester from his men's list, because she's just done so much and keeps doing so much that it's tough to not just keep calling her number one every year, year after year after year. So congratulations, Kelly. Very impressive. I think that might have been her first Australian championship. I
think so.
know if so to get that is very cool, and then to obviously get second is probably not what they wanted, her and Ali, but very cool that they were finishing up there.
Yeah, Kelly just dominating on the singles circuit. Obviously, her other games have gone really well as well, but I think it's most impressive that she just slowly ratcheted up her singles. Obviously, the silver at the World Championships was a huge win. Obviously, she won a gold, but getting this just shows that her game hasn't taken a step back at all. It's just gotten better. So I'm assuming we'll see big things from her in the future. And yeah, awesome, Kelly. It was huge to see that that stuff come trickling through as you won that. So really cool.
Yeah, very big 2024 for her, I guess, if we kind of think about it, because we're the world's technically hosted early this year, and then right, and then Australian Open and this. Even if I'm wrong, regardless, she's
Yeah.
had a very good 12, 14 month period, if we're gonna call it
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
So congrats to everyone there again. Um, Again, obviously you see all the heavy hitters from Australia from other different states, so it's never surprising to see all those names frequented on that list there. So that's about it for the results section of what we had
That's
to
right.
offer for the show. We started to have some other information or stuff that we wanted to pass along, or like cats out of the bag per se. So we're able to at this point say that the Canadian Bowler Open will be back again next year. So we can officially do that announcement that we're going to be hosting the Canadian Bowler Open once again. We don't really have concrete details at this point of exact dates, format, everything like that. We're going to have information very soon about it. The only thing that we're going to say, though, is it will be hosted in Calgary once again. Calgary Lawn Bowling Club will be our primary host venue. So we're very excited to go back there. Best greens in Canada, can confidently make that statement over and over again. We're very excited to go back to Calgary, and we really would love to see all the players come out again, and even some new ones, because I guess for sort of hinting on things, we're probably going to be expanding the event, making it a little bit bigger, potentially adding in another discipline. So stuff, all those information, or all that information will be coming out soon. We'll be able to probably on our next show give you some specifics and dates. So we're just excited to let everyone know about that, and figured we'd put it in the show here. What are your thoughts, Daryl?
Yeah, we were kind of waiting for. We sent out a survey to all the players to get their feedback, and we were waiting for to give a kind of period of time for everybody to get that done and send stuff in. And all the feedback's been great. We got a ton of positive stuff. Some really good suggestions for next year as far as how to ramp it up and clean up some of the stuff that we may have forgotten as part of the event. A solo picture taker being one of them. My annoyance is that there's not enough pictures of events, and we were the main culprits on ours that we didn't have that as well. So, yeah, things like that. Great suggestions, things to do for next year, and we just wanted feedback on: should we make it bigger? Should we add a discipline? Should we tweak anything that we did this year? So, really, really good feedback from all the players, and we're going to take that into account and have discussions with Calgary Lawn and see what we can do for next year. I'm excited. It was awesome this year.
Yeah, like the survey process, as you said, was really helpful for us to sort of know what we got hits on, and what we maybe struck out on a few things. So we knew it was a first time event. We had a lot of things to figure out, or kind of run through the motions on a couple stuff, but in the end, we were very happy with how it went, and then just getting that extra feedback pointed things that we could work on or develop, make better. We're just gonna keep improving that experience for people, and uh, hopefully sort of work towards additional sponsorships, everything like that. That's kind of one of our main focuses this year, is we can hopefully see that prize pot grow and make it even more of an attractive event for people coming all across Canada, and we'd love to see people from all across the world come and play in it.
Absolutely.
I guess what else was there, Daryl? There was a couple other, I think, things that we had wanted to potentially talk about.
I don't know.
Content. Okay, I thought you would have wanted to just take that one by the wheel.
Oh yeah, content. Yeah. Um, we are, and in the middle of editing and piecing together some more content for our channel. So if you aren't subscribed, please subscribe. Get the notification bell clicked off so that you get notifications when we do add some more videos. We're trying to add a few more useful videos, things that people have given us feedback on, things that that we've been wanting to do and just haven't been able to do over the last year-ish. So we did a lot of filming this year, and now we just need to piece it together and put it up to the channel. But we hope to have that coming up shortly. And if you are subscribed to the channel, you'll get notifications when that comes up. And we do appreciate the support, so check it out. Give us feedback on what it is. But yeah, I'm excited. It's been a while since we actually put out a kind of I guess a solid piece of information. We've been doing some of these side videos and other things on rankings and all that, but we haven't actually put together a bowls specific content video, so it's exciting to do.
Yeah, definitely. I was able to connect with Daryl to do some filming, and it was nice because probably about a year we've been chatting about making a few different videos for over a year, so we were actually able to carve some time out, and hopefully everyone will enjoy it. So as Daryl said, please do hit those like, comment, subscribe buttons because you are here. We do appreciate those buttons being hit, and as Daryl said, the reminder bell, that one's gonna send you an alert when we do post these new videos in the future. So hopefully everyone enjoys them and gives them a look when they're out. What else do we? I guess that's probably about it we got here, eh?
Is that the big show in chat?
That is the big show, Mike Connor in chat. Next season will be a great one. So yeah, Mike, gonna bring those weapons of mass destruction back to the Calgary Lawn Bowling Club. He was telling me this week when I met up with him. He said his dad's gonna actually be coming out to play with him in the event too. So that'll be pretty cool. Get some further South African content in there. I'm sure we're gonna have to put them on the live stream because I'm sure we'll just have all of South Africa tuning in to watch that one. So it'll be pretty awesome though. But yeah, very excited, Mike. We're happy that you guys supported the event last year and be supporting it next year. It'll be great to have you there. So yeah, I guess that's all the main points Daryl and I had. We have I guess we've had a lot of information or lots of stuff coming through, so we figured we had to do a show now. And sort of as we talked about, there's a lot of events that are going to have results over the coming weeks. So probably expect another show in a few weeks here where we're going to be able to follow up on all these events where there's been things to cover. So thanks very much for joining us. We hope you got your fix of all the Bulls news that's occurred over the last few weeks. One last thank you to bullsincanada.com, our sponsor. If you do need any Bulls apparel, bullsincanada.com has a great selection. Specifically, they cover Henselite, and they have pretty awesome Bulls bag selection, Daryl. Once again, I'll just give that hint out there because you need a new Bulls bag.
My Bulls bag is a disaster.
Yeah, I got to see it in person recently, and it is really a miracle that you're able to make that thing work at this point. So go check out bullsincanada.com, Daryl, and pick out a Bulls bag for yourself.
One more chat before we sign off. Don Pixley, our favorite Inside Bulls article writer. Have you heard about the Israel player withdrawing from this week's Scottish International Open? Seems the pro-Palestine group launched a petition to stop him playing. We did hear that. Initially, we just heard about the player withdrawing, but an article came across my desk, and I passed it to Mike, and we were surprised to hear that there was a large petition brought up to, I guess, remove the player from Israel from the event, but they withdrew probably because of all the backlash that was happening because of that. But it's unfortunate.
Yeah, Daryl forwarded me an article. I guess it was by the National, which I think is a newspaper in either Scotland or England. I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head. But yeah, it was sort of as you said, Daryl. There was something like 4,000 signatures for a petition to essentially prevent the player. So thanks for highlighting it again, Dom, we're definitely willing to talk about it because it was something Daryl and I had chatted about in the past. So yeah, I'm trying to get I have the article in up right now. So the Red Card is the name of the organization. So the Red Card Glasgow. So they're essentially a group that's trying to show the red card to sort of the involvement of Israel in sports right now, just sort of relation to obviously I guess the ongoing issues that are currently going on with sort of the wars and everything that are going on in that region. So it is very interesting that I guess a player coming from there to play in an event like the WBT would essentially almost be boycotted or kind of almost forced from the event. But in the end, I don't know. It's a tough situation where if you obviously have, I guess, 4,000 people sort of signing a petition and planning protests. I guess that was part of the articles that they were literally planning protests for the events. That would have made it a very interesting situation, I'm sure, if people showed up to protest directly while players were playing, type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I feel for the player. Obviously, whatever's going on with your country is one thing, but it affected their playing status, which is unfortunate. But I mean, politics is politics, and stuff that's going on in the world is pretty severe and critical right now. So I'm not surprised that they pulled out, considering the amount of stuff that was planned and the backlash that was happening. Is probably not worth that kind of hassle to play in a WBT event.
Yeah, I can't imagine they would have had a very nice reception, and sort of as we were saying, the protests, everything, it would have made it, I think, incredibly awkward for them to play if they actually did show up. So probably something they didn't want to pull out of, but in the end almost had to, type of a thing.
Yeah,
so.
pretty much.
All right. Yeah. So thanks again, Dom, for throwing that in the chat. As we always say, please do comment on our videos. We love to interact with people, and often there's topics that we just don't quite bring into the show because Daryl and I probably talk daily. We send each other all Bulls articles we come across, so it's kind of just the weirdos that we are, I guess. So yeah, I guess if that's all we had for the docket, Daryl, I guess I'll wrap it up. Thanks everyone for joining us once again. And with that, may all your Bulls be touchers.